Damn you switch pod. The boys are back. How are you, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quarters, it's Bok week. So, you know what? We're excited. Finally, we get to see the real team, the team of the nation. I'm excited, man. How are you doing, Quarters?
Good myself, good myself. The Dan Carters of podcasting here to give you our opinions, our flagrant takes, and of course, leave your opinions. There should be a lot of opinions, a lot of things happen this week. We've got a new kit, we've got a new team, we've got some controversies. So leave your opinions as well, and you can find us here, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the socials. I think let's start box before we
Yeah,
get
let's
into
engage.
the whole
Mm.
Bulls debacle there. But let's start with the box first of all before we get into the team. Before we get into the team, new kit. How are you feeling about the new kit? They released a home kit,
Oh
away
no.
kit, new retro.
I like it. I like it. I like it. It looks like it's a kit for everyone, you can wear it on a night out. You can wear it on a Black Friday. You can wear it on a date. I like it, man. I like it. I don't have an issue with
Yeah,
that.
I personally I like it. I think the biggest area of complaint is around the collar, where people want a collar. Now there's no collar. Some people don't like the design, but to me, not much of a
Yeah,
fuss from me. I think it's good. It's good. It's just you know how it is. It looks nice
yeah.
because they're showing us the ones that the players wear. But then when we go to retail and you see the ones that the fans wear, I hope it's the same. The same quality. It fits us right. It also fit us
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, true, true. It mustn't be substandard quality for retail, But the brand they're pushing the brand, they
Yeah,
have to make the money somehow because ticket sales are not going to be high this season. But you know what?
yeah.
Let's
They've
let's just
reduced some.
celebrate the new kit.
Yeah, they've reduced some prices there. I see the retro there with tied to an anniversary, and they've got the Proteas, the Bok jumping over the Proteas there.
Mm.
Uh, Reminiscent of a past
Yeah,
era. I don't know, reminiscent of a past era,
I was
but
about to say that. But no, they're thinking of the good old days.
but yeah, moving on from the good old days to the present day.
Yeah.
Bok Squad versus the Barbars.
Mm.
Uh, let's go top to bottom. We've got Ox there, Malcolm Marx,
Yeah.
Klabakanye, one of four
Oh,
uncapped players.
yes. Uh-huh.
We've got Jean Klein, Loet de Jager, Sia Kolisi, Vincent Chituka, another uncapped player,
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Luc Dupria, uh, Fair Flight there. We've got Sasha, Kurtley
Mm.
Arendse, Damian Delendi, Creel, Colby. We've got Fassi there at the back. Then we've got Manus van der Merwe, Jan Hendrik Vessels, Neethling Forshire, another uncapped player, Franco Mostert, Kwaka Smith, Reinach, Libbok, Andreas Deisen. For me,
Yeah.
first looking at the squad, decent squad. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously the four uncapped players are going to stand out. Then you've got Luat
Mm.
Diago, he's coming back. That's a standout. Another
A
guy
long
that's
time
back,
coming.
Jean-Luc Dupria. Yeah, I'm not much of a fan myself. I can't lie. Uh, then other news, I guess Monet van der Berg. A lot of people don't see why he's there. There's a lot of calls. Why isn't Ohamba there? Why isn't a guy like Papier there? For myself, I am a Lions supporter. So what I will say is that I see why he's there. I watch him on a regular basis, so I see why he's there.
Yeah.
If he was behind a
Yeah.
better pack like the Bulls pack, he'd be putting out the same performances as Papier.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not
Or
gonna
maybe
sit
even
here.
bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and defend him and be like, yeah, it's the right call, whatever. But I see why he's there. That's all I'm saying. I see why he's there. There's people that don't see
Yeah.
why he's there, but I guess they don't watch the Lions, so
Yeah, look, I don't really have a problem with him being there. I think, like you say, you see why he's there. You must remember he's also got that left foot, right foot option, that
yeah.
he can kick from the base. And I think he's rugged. He's not afraid to get involved as well. The physical stuff, and getting on the ball there. So yeah, look, I don't really have a problem with him being in there. I think overall strong team. Yes, the
Yeah,
new guys are in there, but you can almost sort of like see that the core of what the Box want to do is still going to be there. But then in terms of the backline that they've selected, you can see that or with let me not say the backline, with the experienced players that they've selected, the guys that have been there, you can see that they need to be driving the fundamentals of it and also driving sort of
yeah,
the next step, of where the Bok game was. So, in terms of Tony Brown's attack.
because
So, yeah,
the
look,
back line is essentially without fair flight. That's essentially our starting back line,
mm,
unless
mm.
Pollard, uh, Sasha,
Yeah,
however,
but
yeah, Sasha came out and said there's no hierarchy. Uh,
uh,
Pollard is number one. He's the GOAT.
uh,
There has to
uh,
be a hierarchy. You need to know who's number
yeah,
one, number two, number three. If there's no hierarchy,
yes,
then okay, then Libbok is also he's up there. But we clearly know Libbok is third
yes,
option.
yes, and that's why he's on the bench. You know what I mean? Because he's still got something to offer to the Box. But overall, quarters. I mean, if you look at that. That's a strong front row,
Yeah.
very strong front row.
Yeah,
In
and
my view.
Kanye also the story coming out that he went to Dan Human's farm and
He went on a pilgrimage. Yeah,
he went a pilgrimage, lost 18 kgs in the process in order to get
that's
the call up.
massive. Yeah, that's massive. And it shows. I mean, like you put in the effort. I guess you're showing. Look, he's been showing all the right ingredients. And
Yeah,
and and I mean, he's gone the extra mile now. And deservedly because he's been very strong for the Lions. Almost building that cult hero status there at the
yeah.
Lions. So
Even
I'm
this, it
I'm I'm I'm,
sounds
I'm
it's
happy
like
for
a
him.
movie. It's like he went to the farm. Was he making him
Yeah,
catch? He was catching chickens like Karate Kid, like Rocky.
like
What
Karate
was he
Kid.
doing? He was catching chickens. He was, the I don't know what he was doing. He was
Maybe he was bench pressing some livestock there, some
yeah,
bovines there. He was on a bovine regime, pulling tractors. You
yeah,
don't know, but it's worked for him. He's put in the work, so you can't help but be happy for him. And hope that he delivers a good performance, which I'm sure he will. And then like even you look, Lord Diaga coming back, John Klein, interesting combination, but I
mm,
think it's a necessary one because I think it's a bit has been freaking played into the ground, So we need to see other guys need to come step up and be enforcers.
yeah,
So it's John Clayton's turn to show that, to run the line out. So glad that he's back. Interesting, the loose trio combination. I
yeah,
I, I want to see how that's going to unfold. That's the one that I
yeah.
really want to see how it's going to unfold.
There's some
Uh,
workhorses there.
I'm
There's some workhorses. Vincent Chituka
mm,
for me has been putting in some big performances. Sia is Sia.
yes.
And then you've got Jean-Luc Dupree. You're gonna have to be his advocate here because
Look.
for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan.
Look, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, Quarters, but for me, like even from the time when he was at the Sharks and even during the dark days of, when, 20, you think back 2016 time, 2017, for me, I thought he was one of the guys that could give the Boxer a sort of a different dimension in attack because of, I haven't seen much of him now playing overseas, but
Yeah,
his ability to play through the contact and get those offloads, like so I think that dimension, I'll be interested to see that. And he's playing eight, so definitely he's going to have to be a link, so
yeah,
I'll be I'm not too I'm not look I think he'll show us something, and he's going to put his hand up to say, look, he's been waiting for a while, and
yeah,
he's getting his opportunity. So I'm not averse to him being in there, even though I had beef with his dad, but when he was the Sharks coach, but he for me, yeah, no,
yeah.
he's one of the out of the Dupria, the twins, and even the other brother. He's the one that I can say no, okay,
Yeah.
I can see something there, So give him a shot, Curtis. Give him a shot.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's calls for Visa, there's calls for Ruiz, uh, mainly from Stormers supporters. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what he gives us. On the bench there, you've got
Mm,
Mani and you've got Esther Hazen, a bit not the most flexible to have there in terms of changing a backline. But I
mm.
guess we'll see. Box guys can play multiple positions,
Yeah,
and yeah, I think it'll
yeah.
be a good showing.
I think so too. I'm expecting for me in this game, like especially the backline, the starting backline. I need Sasha and Fasti. I just need them to show us something, especially Fasti. Ever
Yeah,
since coming back from injury with the Sharks, he hasn't been the best, or hasn't been like the his form self that got him into the box. So I'm just hoping that in this game, he can, you'll be better. We know that the box environment it does that to the players.
yeah,
They turn out performances. So I want to see that from him and Sasha combining and controlling the game and really it's an opportunity now to see the this Bok attack and how it's evolving, and I'm expecting some tries, a lot
yeah,
of tries this weekend. That's what I'm hoping for and expecting. But you know how the game is.
yeah. Just looking at the Barbarians team, Kane Healy had been announced. If I have to look at names of interest, Ribbons, South African born.
Uh-huh.
Again, there was talks of him going with the Lions. He didn't make it. Van Heerden, Stormer supporters always saying he should be a Bok. Peter Omani, Satutu, Frizzell, obviously names that we know. We've got Kerr Barlow coming
Yeah,
back to South Africa. Talia also coming. That's a
Brazil.
real. Talia is really coming back to South Africa, his homeland.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I guess those
I
are
want
some
to.
of the interesting names.
Yeah, I think for me, I think with those some of those the interesting names, especially the guys that maybe didn't make the All Blacks team. I think
Yeah,
they're going to have some. They'll have something to prove. And I'll be interested just to see how the box will contain Frizzell because he's been. If you
yeah,
think back, the last time is it the last time that the All Blacks beat us here at home? I think it was him that was giving
yeah,
problems. So I'll be interested to see how they're going to contain that physicality. But we know these guys they're having fun are down there in Cape Town. It's nice,
yeah,
nice time. So, but it'll be a tough game, because there's some serious internationals there. But I think the box to do
yeah,
it. Another one, Marcus van der Merwe, he getting his shot, as well. Um, but overall, quarters, the box. This should be a victory.
yeah,
We have to start on a good note. We have to start on a positive note, and set the tone for the rest of the season. Because there's some big games coming up after. mm, Not
yeah,
yes, the June series. Yeah, the June July series is going to be. Yes, it's Italy, Georgia. But there's some big rugby coming up, and we need to set the tone right now with this game. We're not playing. They can be playing for fun. It's okay.
yeah,
But for the box, this is serious business.
yeah. Especially for the uncapped guys because they
Yeah.
will remain uncapped. This is not a fixture where you get capped, so they want to put out a performance so that they can come back in one of those
Yeah.
games where they can.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on,
Mm-hmm.
moving on. Stormers retain Similani. They retain
Yeah.
then Jason Dixon. Both of them, it looked like it could go either way. One was in a contract dispute. The other one had offers from overseas. And those are the guys that are staying, but the guys that are going, Libbok, Paul de Vet, Brock Harris, Herschel Yankees, Blomekes, Tueba, Loader, Angelo Davids, and Ewers all leave the Stormers.
Mm.
Big turnover from the
Yeah.
team. And arriving, they announced today, is Ruan Ackerman.
Yeah. Look, big turnover in terms of the guys that are leaving, and not only just in terms of uh, not just and not just in terms of name, in terms of experience,
Yeah.
and the number of caps that they're losing, and yeah, you can see, like, for example, a guy like Beba, yeah, he's been doing better, and it's
Mm.
like, do you really want to let a guy like that go, because you can sort of rely on him, as much as you've got Hugo Fenter there, but Dweba easily can, at any given time, he's your starting two, he can be.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you're losing Herschel Yankees, you're using Paul Devet, so those are your two guys that have been driving your game from number nine, and Devet especially, he's been one of those
Mm.
that's been a difference maker for them as well, and a big one, Libbok. I think, yeah, okay, we understand why, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big
and
one,
we don't know yet the full details of it. Is it a sabbatical? What is
Mm,
it? We don't know. We just
yeah,
know that it's more than
yeah,
likely that he's going to Japan. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're losing Box. Whether you can say
yes,
what you want about a player like Dweba, he's a Bok, he's a
he's a
performer.
buck, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
De Vet, he's around the perimeter of what Brock Bok level is. I'm not saying that he should be there or whatever, but he's around that level. He's one of those guys that the Bulls seem to have a lot of, and he's going to the Bulls. And yeah, they're gonna miss a lot of these guys. Yeah,
mm,
Herschel Yankees as well. Form can go up and down, but at the end of the day, you're losing another Bok. So
mm,
I mean, it's problem with the Stormers has always been, well, in the past few seasons, is the turnover of players, incomings versus outgoings, and it
yeah,
hasn't worked out well for them. They haven't been able to retain players. So I mean, Ackerman first announcement. I know some would have wanted his dad, but unfortunately, you're getting
oh,
you're
getting the
getting
sun,
yeah,
getting the sun. I think, yeah, like we said last week, that's what I think that'll be a good signing for them. But like you said, with the turnover, the ratio, you'd expect, they need to bring in
yeah,
more guys to try to replace, because like you said, the youngsters that they've signed on, we're not going to see them right now. Maybe one or two if they're shooting out the lights, but not all of them. So
yeah.
yeah, look, I think there's still a bit of a window open, so a lot can still happen. So but yeah, but big losses for the Stormers of the guys going
Yeah,
out.
big loss. Now moving on to a bit more, so news a bit more spicy, news a
Yeah,
bit more intense. Jake White. It seems though as though like everyone's turned on him. You've got the players with the delegation led by Nokia and Kutsia. They're saying that, we're unhappy at work. Some of them are saying we are not going to renew our contracts. Others are saying I will terminate my contract.
they went to HR. They went to
Yeah,
HR.
Cousins, he's faked a retirement already. He can fake a retirement again. I wouldn't put it past Cousins. So then you've got the assistant coaches. The assistant coaches have also, Andres Bierke and them have turned their back on Jake to say that even in the final
Yeah.
they weren't talking. Which,
Mm,
I mean, you've seen him in the
mm.
games. He sits by himself and drinks his water. So
Yeah, you know what, but it's not surprising. It's
yeah,
not. We called it last week. We said, quarters, that you go and you make comments like that. People are not going to want to come and play for you. People are not going to want to
yeah,
put their bodies on the line for you. You know, they'll just come to work and take a paycheck. But for me, it's a positive in the sense that you can see the players actually care about what they're trying to do. They want to achieve something, and
yeah.
they're saying that no, this guy doesn't. You know, he's not creating the correct environment.
Yes,
And
that's exactly it. And
and
the thing
look,
is, he's been hiding behind results because he's made it to the final three times.
yeah,
So he's been hiding
yeah,
behind results
yeah,
in that, fine, we're unhappy, but we're delivering. We're delivering. We got there.
yeah,
And now the third final and you don't make it. Now you can't hide behind those results. Now the players themselves are coming
yeah.
out. The coaches themselves are coming out. Ruan, sorry, Johan Ackermann is being lined up as a replacement here. Uh, in my opinion, as a Lions supporter, a good coach. I know some other people seem on the timeline to think not. I don't know why, but he's
I
also
think he's a good coach, man.
he's a big culture person himself, and we saw the culture
Yeah,
that he developed.
yeah,
at the Lions. Versus this, I
At the
mean, Jake
Lions, yeah.
White, if we go back to when they lost the final, he said he needs more international players. We go to de Klerk was man of the match in a winning team, and he said, "Yeah, but I'd still like to have Curtly Arendse." You go back to comments
You
of
see?
Moody, where he said Moody needs to stay away from the buffet table. He's lost a bit of pace.
Yeah, you see?
There's comments every week. There was comments about if you're not in South Africa, you shouldn't be a Bok. You should play for national pride. There's comments about this. It's he every week he complains about something new. And the thing is,
Yeah, so
if he's like this in the public eye, what is he like behind closed doors?
thank you. And that's what I was going to say that if you look at Jake, everywhere he's gone, there's always issues,
Yeah.
especially I think is it Brumbies? And then even when he came to the Sharks, there was
Mm.
issues. And then now even at the
Even at the
Bulls.
box,
So even at the box, there was issues there,
how do you
So
fire a coach that wins? Because
yeah.
they
So
reached they're like, we've had enough of this guy. We've had like
he he was the problem. Because I mean the common denominator in every one of those scenarios, it's him. And you would have thought
yeah,
that by now, he would have matured and the thing is it's not 1998 or whatever where you got to build the iron fist and you can. The
yeah,
times have changed. You need to understand the current I can say the youth of today. You need to
yeah,
understand and how to get the best out of. And I don't think he was able to get the best out of his guys. And like you said, the culture, wasn't
yeah,
there. It's just no. Look, he did it to himself. And I'm
yeah,
saying that the Bulls they must act quickly. They gotta act quickly, resolve this thing, and yeah, let him go. Let him go to Poland and go fix Poland, or go to Eastern Province or something like that.
yeah,
And go and fix the rugby there. He must take some time out and go. He must go take a hard look and think about how he works. With people because this is a people business as much as yes, it's results,
yeah.
but you won't get results if the people are not happy. So, well, he's done it to himself.
And my thing is, I mean, you're talking about the newer generation of players. For me, there's gonna be guys there that are very old school. I'm sure your
Yeah,
Kutsias, your Escoms, those guys
yeah,
they're gonna carry that old school mentality. So I don't think it's a thing
yes.
of no, you're talking to young guys, they can't take criticism, whatever. Even the
Mm,
old men there are the ones also saying no, it's not right what's happening
ye-
here.
yes, you see. So, I mean, if those guys are even saying that, nah, this is not it,
Yeah.
and like you say, especially you and your captains, when your captains are the ones leading the thing, it wasn't even like the
Mm.
vice captain or the conglomerate of players that are not playing, where people say no,
Yeah.
but they're not playing. These are guys that you're picking. These are guys that maybe you sit in the meeting with to say, okay, guys, this is, and they're saying that no, we want this guy gone.
And I mean
There's
Nokia
there's
no
a big problem
yeah.
there.
Nokia had some comments last season after they lost the final about how nice it was to go into the Springbok environment. And you read between the lines and you see
Yes,
you read
yes,
between the lines and you see these
yes,
things and it's like they're trying to tell you without telling you,
yeah.
you know.
But now it
But
was too much, eh?
yeah,
No, because now it was too much. Because you kick guys when they were down. Instead of uplifting his players and you kick them while they were down, and now they showed
yeah,
him because the valuable stock is the players. It's not the coach. The
yeah.
valuable stock is the players. So the Bulls must act quickly. You know,
Yeah, and even on that, I've seen comments where people are like, no, it's becoming like football. We can't have this. The coach must be the one that makes the decisions. And you're dealing with an
no,
extreme situation. You're dealing with an extreme. This guy has pissed off
yeah,
everybody in the whole, even the guys above him.
yes,
Rathbone is now saying
yeah,
they need a new voice.
yeah. We've been
So
saying, we've been saying. Damisic Pod been saying that there must be new voices there because let's be honest, and then only after the fact, because the
yeah,
writing has been on the wall for a while now. We
mm,
we thought they would have the opportunity. We gave them a chance to say, okay, they made it to the final. They could have done something. Had they pulled that job off, success. But now, obviously, with failures, there comes a microscope and things just unravel. And this is what's happening,
Yeah. Yeah, John Plumtree is sitting back, enjoying his holiday, watching this, thinking
He's
the
like,
pressure
yo,
is now. The pressure is now.
no, it's not off. It's not off. They'll come for him next. They'll come for him next. It's not
No,
off.
no. I'm sure he's like, no, guys, come in half an hour later. Half an hour.
Yeah.
Take your time. He's keeping the players happy. The supporters are unhappy, but he's keeping the players happy. He's like parking spots right near the door. You guys,
Yeah.
whatever you want, short sessions, even. Take your time, guys. He's keeping the players happy.
Yeah, well, you know what, and that's the most for me, and those are the most important people. You
Yeah,
gotta keep your assets happy, in order to, to get the results that you want to get, or to get them to do the things that you want, But yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's like it was just a matter of time, if we're all
yeah,
being honest, because it's a trend with this guy. That's what he does.
yeah. So
We must go to Japan or
unfortunately,
something, you
yeah, we
know.
won't be hearing about his wife's lovely salad for a while, I think. But any closing remarks? Any closing
Look,
remarks?
the box, man. I just, it's exciting to the box back in
Yeah,
action. So, what? Look, we want to feast. We want to feast. That's all I'm saying. We want to feast.
and that's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.